My name is Lebogang Letsoalo. I'm currently working for Sasol Chemicals as a Vice President for Supply Chain. And my portfolio as it is encompasses a whole lot of aspects that you can think of in the business. My portfolio focuses on outbound logistics. There is some portion of inbound that I'm accountable for. I have exports, marine logistics that I'm accountable for. And one other portfolio, which is a passion of mine, is supplier development, which is more supplier management and having different aspects into it. The topic as to what my role really is in the industry, if you're thinking about being a CPO, being an executive, or you can, as you are aware now, we are being called vice president now. How does my day look like, and what is it that I really focus on? Supply chain, thinking around it, it has transitioned. It's moved from being tactical. Now we are very strategic. That's what global supply chain should be looking like. And we are aware that supply chain as a whole, not each and every industry has adopted that specific view of embedding supply chain as being strategic. Supply chain as it is, I want everyone to understand that it's not only procurement, it's not only buying. It's an integrated approach for organizations within the value chain. I mean, talking about procurement, you're talking about manufacturing that is happening in the business, but supply chain still takes that accountability of moving that product. So until that product gets to the customers, that's what our role really is. Now that's what I focus on as a supply chain executive. We've moved from being tactical, now we are being strategic. What does it take for me as a leader to ensure that happens? My role is to ensure that we become strategic in any organization. I embed that culture. My role is to ensure that I position supply chain to be seen as a strategic lever in any portfolio. From the profitability perspective, shareholder value perspective, that's what supply chain is all about. It's not just about saving cost, but ensuring that there's sustainability in terms of the cost savings initiatives that we have in the business. The value proposition in terms of what we do, that's the gospel that I sing as a supply chain executive. What do we stand for, and what value do we add in the business? Another portion of it is supply chain as a strategic lever in the economy. How do we add such value? The role of an executive is to ensure that we grow the economy. We grow the economy in terms of, our GDP, in terms of enterprise development, in terms of supplier development, in terms of creating some competition in South Africa, creating that sustainability as well. I mean, we have seen that with large projects that are happening in South Africa, we get international companies coming into the industry. And what happens that they do a project and they move away. And what happens, we still have that reliance that happens in the industry, which means that we haven't sustained the industry, that money still remains here, or we haven't even built the skill, that is required to grow South Africa as a whole. Our role as well in supply chain as executives, I see it as an enabler in any organization, from the governance, from the risk perspective, because I always say that as a supply chain person, you have to be an all-rounder, a jack of all trades. And I always say that you have to start thinking outside the box, which means that you have to know just about each and every aspect of the business. You must know marketing, you must know operations, you must know the industry dynamics that are happening there, which brings me to another point of supplier intelligence. My role is to ensure that as well, that I develop that capability, enough intelligence for us to be able to execute in terms of our role. Skills as a whole, which is very, very important in moving the supply chain from being tactical to strategic. My role is to develop talent, and that talent is not limited to my company. My role is to ensure that that talent, I build it in the industry, developing the networks as well, ensuring that I embed that culture that everyone in the industry can understand that supply chain is very important. So that's the footprint that I'm setting as a leader, as an executive that's seated in my role. And also ensuring that when it comes to sharing of insights and more intelligence, I developed that robust network, and that's what I currently do now. Robust network with other partners, other sectors as well out there. My role as a leader as well, which I believe everyone must follow, is being a coach and a mentor as well. We can never build this industry if any of us don't even focus on coaching and also mentoring all the people that are coming up in the industry. And it all starts from universities. It all starts from the graduates and trainees that we have in the business. So if I have to really sum it up, there's a couple of areas that I've spoken about. The role of an executive as a strategic person, as a strategic thinker, as an HR manager as well. That means that developing people. As a person that execute on demand, which means that having that technical capability, so you might as well be an operations manager. As a marketing person, because we're marketing the business, we're moving the product. We need to know who the customers and how do we do that. We're talking about being risk managers as well, if you're thinking about it, because we reduce the risk for the business in terms of how we take decisions in the business. I'm talking about governance as well, which is very important. We deal with contracts as well. So as a leader as well, summing it up is being a legal person. So I've got multiple roles and multiple heads that I carry as a supply chain executive.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.